Hey guys, good morning, everybody. Today is Tuesday, August 2nd. It is 6:19 right now. Market's going to open in about 11 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and set up this room real quick, and then we can get started with our session for today. So just give me a second to update everything here for the live, and then we will get started with our session shortly. That's good. Good. Couple more things right here. All right, I'll grab this up. And I think we're good to go. Let me get this link sent out to you guys here in the premium. All right, solid. All right, so I'll get a few minutes for people to make their way in. And we'll get started. So I'm going to start off by putting the requirements here for the breakout. It's a confluence checklist, and then breakout requirements. Hey, Peter, morning. Morning, Saren. Morning, Vince. Morning, everybody. I'll give it a few minutes for people to continue their way in. As soon as we have enough people in here, we'll start with our analysis for this morning. Get this real quick as well. All right, solid. Hey, Marlon, morning. All right, so as people make their way in, I'm going to go ahead and mark up, or I'm going to look at the news real quick. Let me just mark up a couple things here to see if there's anything here that I missed from this morning. Today's Tuesday, August 2nd. There was no news this morning pre-market. There's news at 7 o'clock, JOLTS job openings, high impact. This is basically going to indicate how many job openings there are here in the US. It's going to be a big indicator with regards to the recession, because if people aren't hiring, then obviously, economy's not doing so great. So we're going to mark that up right here at 7 o'clock. That's going to be news. I'm going to go and mark up opening price for London, which is over here around midnight, my time. There we go. Let's put London open. So if you guys didn't attend the mentoring session yesterday, guys, unfortunately, our trade from yesterday, our breakout, I kind of screwed up on that, guys. So sorry. I know I did the same screw up last week. I don't remember what day I did, but so we were reviewing it, and Maddie actually told me, like, right after the live, he was like, dude, we weren't supposed to take a buy, we were supposed to take a sell. If you guys remember yesterday, we took a buy for the breakout and it lost. But it was actually supposed to be a sell because we were reviewing the confluences here. For the typical breakout, that was the actual breakout entry, but because there was no confluences present, it was actually a sell. So we would have won that trade if we took the sell. The only problem was that I was so fixated on taking the buy because we had a bias. Looking over here at the sentiment, it was like 60. It was like how it is right now, 64% short. So if you guys are familiar with this and how this works, this indicates how many retail traders are on the short side. So the problem with that is that this bias here indicates the long-term move. So Price did go up eventually, so we could have made a late entry for that trade. However, for the breakout, this doesn't really have a huge impact because the breakout is just a quick move, right? So like looking at the confluences over here, we looked at all of the checklists and basically nothing here applied. There was no trend because the trend was a sell, so we couldn't have taken a buy there. There's no high-low continuation. There's no high-low candle reversal, etc. So with that said, we were supposed to take a sell yesterday for the breakout. Today, I'm going to be a bit more careful. I think yesterday I just got a little too excited with the entry because we haven't had a bias in a long time. Although price did push up for the breakout, if we did take the sell as we were supposed to, the trade would have won. And then we also could have taken it the other way for a late entry off the actual breakout. So unfortunately, guys, that loss yesterday was my fault for the breakout. I didn't apply the strategy properly. I was just too focused on taking one directional trade because of the bias. But for the breakout, the bias isn't going to be the key factor because that's a long-term move and not necessarily short-term move for the breakout because the breakout does happen within the first few minutes. So again, guys, apologize for that. That was my mistake. I take full responsibility for the loss yesterday. But today we're going to be more on point. Maddie's going to be here helping me too. He's going to be awake this time, letting me know before I make any mistakes again with the breakout. So thanks, Maddie. But yeah, Maddie said breakout looks like it might be a buy today. So I'll be looking for that. Morning, Maria. Morning, Rashida. Morning, David. Morning, everybody. Just a reminder, today is Tuesday, August 2nd. It is 6:25 right now. Market's going to open in about 5 minutes. We have news coming up here at 7 o'clock, which is the JOLTS job openings, high impact news. Other than that, there's not really much news going on today other than the JOLTS job opening. So with that said, let's take a look at the confluences over here. So looking at the overall bias right now, retail sentiment is 64% short, indicating that 64% of retail traders are currently selling right now. So we want to do the opposite and buy. This is going to be the long-term move. If price does come down due to manipulation, that's completely fine because we're going to be expecting price to push back up eventually. Looking over here at the fundamentals, market is currently closed, but the fundamentals are currently down 114 points. So with that said, this is going to be it's going to be a long-term bullish bias, but currently the fundamentals here make it a bit neutral. So it's going to be slightly bullish for the overall bias here. Mark that up right here. Slightly bullish. Looking over here at the current trend, to identify the trend, we're going to use the KT trend meter below, which is currently green, and the pivots. So with price above the pivots, trend meter green, this is going to indicate that the trend is bullish. Going down to confirm the high-low continuation and making sure that they are not overlapping, as you guys can see right here, for a buy. Yes. Sell is also yes. We have this low and this low, they don't overlap. We have this high and this high, they don't overlap. So both will be applicable here. Candle reversal, let's take a look at the 10-minute real quick. So in order for us to confirm this, we need to have a high with a green candle. That does not apply here for a sell. We do have a low with a green candle, with a red, oh no, actually. So we need a low with a red candle and a high with a green candle. That requirement does not apply for either one. Additional strategy confluence, we have a V1 here for a buy. And then we have that's about it, it's V1 for a buy. So we'll take a look at that when market does open. But it is present currently for a buy here. Yeah, Maddie said we will have to see the continuation for last minute. Yeah, and I agree too, Maddie. That's what kind of threw me off yesterday too. The continuation screwed up at the last minute. So there's some news regarding Pelosi landing in Taiwan. Yeah, I've been seeing that on the news lately. But other than that, I think that's about it for right now. So let's get ready. Market's going to open in about a minute, guys. So when the market does open, we will follow along with these requirements here. Hey, Karen. Morning. Morning, Fahad. Morning, everybody. So market's opening in about 30 seconds, guys. We have the requirements here met. We currently have a sell momentum right here. So in order to get the breakout, we need to have a strong red candle. However, the bias right now is currently very bullish. So if we do get a sell, we're probably not going to take it. We'll probably be looking for a buy here. So we're going to wait for it to swing up, give us a buy signal. If this closes with a buy signal, then great. We just need to confirm the following entry. All right, so this right here, if this closes as a strong red candle, this is going to be the breakout. However, looking at the confluences here, this is perfectly fine. We want this to close, but we'll be looking to take the opposite, because if you look at the, okay, now it's going to be kind of tricky, because, okay, if we're looking for a sell here, there's no high-low continuation, no trend, no bias. So we're still looking for a buy here. If we get the sell entry for the breakout, it's still going to be a buy regardless. There's no reversal candle. There's literally nothing here for a buy. So I'm probably not going to enter right away. I'll probably wait for it to, finish its dropping and then wait for it to swing back up. But it looks like it's going to be a buy. So I wouldn't enter right away because this candle here is just way too big. I would probably wait for it to swing back up. And then as it swings back up, you can make the entry. So for this breakout right here, the breakout is technically a sell, but we would do the opposite because of the confluences. The confluences are not present here. But I wouldn't enter right away. I would just wait a little bit, wait for it to drop a bit, and then when it swings back up, you can make a late entry for a buy. The reason why we would want to take the opposite here is because the confluences don't align. Bias is bullish, trend is bullish. A lot of things here are pretty much bullish. So if you guys want to take let's see, I'm going to wait for a little bit, let it close. But this is what we're looking for. We're waiting for it to come down a little bit and wait for it to swing right back up. So not yet. We just want to make sure it's actually coming back up, because you don't want to take it and it's still dropping further, right? So let me check MT4 over here. It swings back up. This is a tricky entry. Are you entering yet, Maddie? I'm watching it right now because it's still coming around entry point. Tempted to enter already. It just keeps bouncing around that area, but the entry point is going to be right here, guys. Still waiting for it to confirm, because we want it to retrace a little bit. We want to catch it as it swings, to the upside. But right now it's just bouncing around. But I do think price is going to come back up. The breakout here would be an opposite entry for a buy. So I'm still waiting to make entry right here. I'm really tempted to use a trailing stop, but let's see where it goes from here. So I'm looking at my MT4. All right, so I'm in it now, guys. I'm trying to move my stop loss and profit. It is super erratic. So if you guys are entering this, guys, I do recommend moving your stop loss and profit as it pushes up. The market here is just super, super choppy. So you don't want to get caught in, the crazy movements here, because it's just pushing around so often. So let's see. Yeah, I don't really like it at all, not either. So choppy. So let's see as it pushes up right here. I don't think there's anything else going on in the market causing this to really spike around. Aside from, I don't think there's any other news today. Forex factoring. Yeah, so my stop loss was in profit already. Kicked me out already. Yeah, almost like break even. So I didn't really make anything off this trade, fortunately. But It's super choppy right now. So I didn't really make anything off the trade, guys. Move the stop loss and profit, kick me out. Yeah, if you guys are still in the position, it's looking pretty messy right now for this move right here. So as you guys can see, it pushed up a little bit. And then as it pushed up, moved my stop loss and profit, kicked me out. And then now it's just, I'm not going to re-enter. There's just too much, the market's not moving smooth at all. I think TradingView is even frozen right now. Yeah, TradingView is frozen. So guys, I would make sure if you guys are in the, if you guys did take the position, make sure you move your stop loss and profit, or make sure you guys pulled out in profit, because it's just too choppy right now. Also, MT4 is, we're not MT4, TradingView is frozen pretty much. So it stopped me on profit earlier when I took it. Me and Maddie entered, and then we trailed the stop basically, and then it knocked me out once it was over there. So there was like opportunity here to pull out, as price is pretty much bouncing around this area. Man, this thing is super choppy this morning. Yeah, there's a lot of manipulation right now. The market's kind of freezing up and moving around. That's probably a good thing I moved the stop loss and profit. It pushed up about like 200 pips, and then it just, I mean, I moved it like slightly above, and as soon as it spiked down, it closed me out. DeAndre said they took out Al-Qaeda leader. Peter said CNBC stocks fall for a second day. Investors weigh in on China tensions, new batch of earnings. And let me check the sessions as well. I think you guys mentioned there were sessions right here. Yeah, I was right at the sessions as well right there. So hopefully you guys followed along when I was telling you guys to move your stop loss and profit, or if you guys pulled out. The market's just super choppy this week. It is NFP though, so it's kind of understandable. But this right here is like, let me see if there's anything else that happened. So this is live news right now. It says stocks fall for a second day as investors weigh in China tensions, new batch of earnings. See if there's earnings going on today as well. I'm trying to see that news that DeAndre posted. He said that they took out the Al-Qaeda leader. I don't see it here on CNBC, but it's probably around here somewhere. Also, monkeypox and whatnot. And there's a lot of stuff going on around the world. US fears Russia is using nuclear shield. Hacker drains nearly 200 million of crypto startup. This right here. So price is still continuing to drop. If you guys want to chase this here, I mean, it's possible, but no, I wouldn't chase it actually. Sorry. I want you guys to chase this here for yourself. I think price is going to swing back up. It's just, this is just the opening push right here. Question from Alexander. Alexander said, so we don't need a buy momentum signal for the breakout? No. So here's the analysis here, guys. This is why we took the buy here on the late entry. Let me just go over here real quick. So the reason why we took the opposite, Alexander, is because the confluences didn't line up, right? So basically when we take the breakout, we want to make sure the confluences line up. If the confluences don't line up, we take the opposite trade. So this provides us the ability to take the breakout for every single day. So say, for example, here, the breakout here was a sell, but we used the confluences here. Bias was bullish, so this didn't align, right? Current trend was bullish, so this didn't align. There is no high-low continuation. This also didn't align. The high-low reversal candle was not present either. So for this right here, if you were to take a sell here, this didn't look like a good trade, right? Because everything else was indicating for a buy. That's the reason why we waited for it to pull down a little bit. As soon as price opened right here, or it came back up to the entry point, this is where we made the entry for the buy. However, with the market moving so choppy, we decided to pull out early or move your stop loss and profit just to like protect your position. That's basically what most of us did here. And that's how we pulled out of this. Well, I mean, I didn't try to pull out, but it pulled me out automatically because my stop loss was in profit. I didn't make any profit on the trade. It's like what, 40 bucks. It's not really anything. But that's the reason why we took the opposite here. It's just super choppy. Usually, typically I was telling you guys I was not going to use the trailing stop anymore, but because of the choppiness right here, I just didn't feel safe about the position. It just didn't seem like a good entry. And that's why I moved my stop loss in profit. And then it literally just, as soon as I entered, it pulled back and then kicked me out in profit. So that's the reason why we took it. You don't need a bullish momentum because we're doing the opposite. This will allow you to take either the breakout or take the opposite trade. Let's see. Thanks, Peter. Yeah, Peter said Al-Qaeda leader. I'm in awe. So here, killing drone attack, Biden says. All right, so this happened right here. This is some news right now. I think Biden is speaking right now as well. So I don't know if this is affecting the market currently, but he is speaking right now. So he was taken out by drone at 9:48. Oh, this was over the weekend though. So I think this was like a little bit of some later news, but they just reported on it now. I think the big news right now is going to be the Pelosi stuff because I've seen it on the news yesterday. Sisuk over here mentioned Pelosi landing in Taiwan has been a huge contention with China. China threw out a threat and whatnot. So that did affect the market heavily. Peter said, I hope they take her out. All right, so the breakout is done with, guys. It pretty much was just a break even. This wouldn't, I mean, it didn't apply at all because we all kind of, I told you guys move your stop loss and profit, and I did the same thing. So I didn't make any profit off it for this trade here. What we can still look for here though is going to be the 1 minute reversal. So looking over here, I mean, not 1 minute reversal, but the 1 minute daily. So if we get a buy signal over here, I'm going to ride this back up even higher. Hopefully that will help me lock in, a bit more profit. But that's pretty much going to be the next entry here. If we get a buy signal here, this is going to be a 1 minute reversal. So hopefully this will make me some profit. Because I'm still at negative at the week. Previously, I took the loss yesterday, and then this was just break even. So I didn't really make anything at all this week. So I'm looking for that right there. I'm also looking for a buy here on the 3 minute. Let me see. So we're looking for a, okay, actually this is not going to apply. This is the first, this is the daily entry for the 3 minute. So there's no longer going to be an entry here on the 3. So over 3 minute, there's nothing for us to take here. If you guys took the daily here on the 3, it already hit your TP. This happened at 6:33. So this would have been the daily entry 3 minute. You can either take the actual entry or you can take the counter trend. So this allows you to take either trade as well, right? For the 1 minute over here, there's no momentum yet after open. Market opened right here, 6:30. What I would recommend is if you guys do take the daily here for the 1 minute, when it gets up to at least like 300 pips, move your stop loss and profit. You don't have to move it right away, but just to be on the safer side, because you can see the market is still dumping right here due to the news and whatnot. For the daily entry right here, you can take it, but once it moves at least 300 pips, say this point right here, move your stop loss and profit. Okay, just to be on the safer side, because we don't know if price is going to keep dumping or not. But if you want to go for the full move, at least you'll guarantee profit at 300 pips. So I'll be following this right here. Let me turn on the alerts real quick so that we can be aware from when that happens. And this is just going to basically give me some profit for the day because I need to recover from yesterday's mistake. And then this one right here. So let's see, this is going to be the K2 1 minute momentum. All right, once per bar. So I have an alert right here. If we have the momentum coming up, I will be taking it. But as I mentioned, as price continues to move along, let me just put this right here. There's a requirement. So look for entry after 6:30 a.m. Basically, 6:30 a.m. is right here. We're looking for the first momentum signal. It doesn't have to be a valid signal. It could just be, it can be a green signal, whether it be invalid or valid. We can take this for the for the buy right here. So yeah, no, exactly. And B said would be great if we could ride this up to market open. Yeah, and I agree too, B, 100%. Fraser said, can you put the criteria for 1 minute reversal? Yeah, here's a criteria right here, Fraser. So we're just looking for a momentum signal. We need we know the momentum signal is going to come eventually because right here we have a sell signal, right? So the next signal has to be a buy signal. That's going to be the next momentum. So we're basically just looking for it to come up. It could come at any moment. Overall bias is still bullish. I mean, it's pretty much dumped like super heavy. This right, or it's still 60%. So there's still a chance for it to come back up. It's just this big drop right here. I'm assuming, as everyone has mentioned, is due to like Pelosi landing in Taiwan. I've seen it on the news like all day yesterday. It was a big thing, and Pelosi kind of just said like she's going to do what she wants or whatever. But everyone is basically urging her not to go. Okay, so if this closes here, this might be the entry. Or the so let's see if it closes. And this candle here it might be too big, so you might want to wait for some retracement before making the entry. Yeah, this candle is like way too big. So there's a signal right there, pending momentum right here. Basically just need that momentum signal to close. It hasn't closed yet. I was hoping it would close on this one. So as I mentioned before, guys, just make sure to follow it. And then once it reaches 300 pips, move your stop loss in profit. I'll be taking this as well as it closes. This is just a little bit of an iffy move. The reason why I think it's iffy because this prior candle right here is just super big. So it might have to retrace a bit before. Yeah, exactly. Maddie said this candle might retrace halfway. I was thinking the same thing, Maddie. So I got to think whether I'm going to enter it right away or if I'm going to wait for it to retrace a little bit. See if it closes. It does not close with the buy signal. So that's not it right there yet. Let me mark up open for New York as well. There. Because this candle here is too big, so the retracement still has to complete. Retracement's not done yet. So I'm thinking if I want to enter later, let it retrace a little bit. So let's see if this closes. And this is an iffy entry too, because it keeps coming up and disappearing. Yeah, so I'm gonna let it retrace a little bit, guys, before I make entry. If it does close, I mean, it doesn't look like it's gonna close yet. So it hasn't even closed yet. So if you guys remember from what I've been telling you guys, whenever you see a big candle like this, price typically retraces to the halfway mark, or it's going to retrace to the full candle. So you can see right here, it's retraced to the halfway mark. This is going to be an indication whether it's going to bounce or it's going to continue retracing. If it continues retracing, it's going to retrace to possibly the entire candle and then bounce from there. So you typically don't want to enter right away if the candle is too big. It's at the halfway mark right here. So we'll see if it bounces off here or if it continues pushing up or pushing down lower. And we also have news coming up right here at 7. It's a messy trade. I hate when news comes up. That news is going to be high impact as well. So just keep that in mind. It's Joel's job openings. So it's going to indicate how many jobs there are open here in the US. And that's going to definitely affect price. Still no bullish momentum here. So price is dropping past the halfway mark right here. What I'm going to do now is, since we're just kind of just waiting, I'm going to go and mark up the areas of liquidity real quick. Shouldn't take too long. just so that you guys have an idea. Where liquidity is sitting. Let's go back to the 1 minute. Still nothing there. That's fine. So no daily entry yet. I mean, unfortunately, we might have to skip it because news is coming up. I was really hoping that was going to close and provide us an entry, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen here. Well, I'm gonna mark up liquidity real quick to see if there's anything else here to follow and whatnot. But five minute. One minute. All right. So unfortunately, no entry here for the daily 1 minute. I mean, I'm still looking for it, but the problem with this here is that it's going to hit news right here shortly, the next 10 minutes. So here's the full retracement. You can see price retraced to the size of the candle. At this point, this is going to be the turning point. You can determine whether price is going to bounce off it and continue pushing up, or whether it's going to break below and continue dropping. So the retracement here is done. We'll see if the continuation here closes. If you guys want to take this for the daily might come up at some point here, possibly. If it does come up, you can probably take it with a trailing stop, maybe just in case if the news here affects it. But I'd probably sit it out because we're already expecting the JOLTS job openings to be negative. So let me pull it up real quick. The news for JOLTS job openings, they're forecasting it to be negative. So it's going to be tricky because if everyone is already expecting it to be negative, price might just be manipulated to the upside. So instead of it coming down, it's going to spike up. And if you take that for the daily here, it's probably going to come up and hit your TP real quick before it comes back down. But it's just a gamble, right? If you're trading news, it's really a gamble because the thing is, we already know it's going to be negative. So is the market going to give you that negative push, or is it going to do the opposite to stop people out before giving you the negative push? Let's see. B said maybe this drop is pricing it in already. Yeah, no, possibly B. And I agree too. People are probably anticipating it to be negative, so people are already in it. So people already basically they want to be in the position before the drop happens, and then price will probably do the opposite and just spike right back up, right? That's like all the manipulation that happens. That's why I don't trade news at all. I pretty much just sit it out when news happens. Looks like sentiment's also dropping, man. So news is coming up in about 8 minutes. Unfortunately, there was no daily entry here for me to take. So it looks like I have no profit for today. I'm still negative from yesterday, guys. So, just being 100% transparent with you guys, still negative from yesterday because we did take the loss off the breakout, which I mistakenly taken. For this one over here, I did take the breakout, but I moved stop loss and profit, so I didn't really make any profit off it. It just stopped me out around break even, made like $40, which is nothing. But other than that, that's pretty much it for the most part. I was hoping to catch the buy here to pretty much take the 500 pip move, cover my loss from Monday, and then be at break even in total for the week. But right now I'm still at negative from yesterday. So pretty trash, but it is what it is. We just got to deal with the market. And you can't let the trades affect you. You just got to bounce with it. So here goes, price starts to drop lower. Okay, so there's no daily here. I'm just going to delete this. We'll keep following it to see if the daily ends up coming up. We'll follow it, but I don't think I'm going to take it if it comes up to news price right here. From my perspective, price has dropped a lot already. It's already super overextended right here. So I think when news happens here at 7 o'clock, I think price is going to push up. I think they're going to manipulate price, stop everybody out. So here's going to be my key price point. This right here, right? Because people who are entering sells, where do they place their stop loss? They place it at the swing, which is going to be right here. So if we do get a manipulated push on news right here, I'm expecting it to push up to that next high right there, basically to stop people out. So I'm looking at it possibly to push up, stop people out, and then obviously, come back down. So we'll see. I mean, this is a pretty big swing though. If you measure it, see this swing right there. It's a huge push up. It's over 1,000 pips. 1,102. So I'm kind of curious. I'm not going to speculate on this trade, but I'm kind of curious to see if it pushes up that high, because if it does, it's going to stop out a lot of people. Because I'm sure a lot of people are chasing this sell right here. I don't recommend you guys do it, but we'll see what happens shortly. Let me check the messages real quick. Maddie said it's breaking the 1 hour low. Might dump a bit before news happens. Pat said price printed on that higher high right before open. Oh, right over here. All right, yeah. So if you guys, so there's a well, I don't know if you guys have seen this before. I forgot if we went over this during the live or if we went over it during the mentoring session, but basically when you guys see the numbers here print on the higher high, it's usually an indication of reversal, right? So if you have that, like this right here, this is an example. You have this indicated right there, higher high, or it doesn't have to be a higher high. It could be a higher low, higher high, high, whatever. And it has the numbers that print on the high right there. And then it's followed by a sell signal. Odds are this thing's going to dump. So looking in the opposite, you can see right here, we have a low. It has the numbers that print right there as well, right? And it's followed by a buy signal. What happened from that point? Huge push to the upside. So just something to keep in mind if you guys are looking for these reversals. This is a laggy indicator. The numbers are laggy. The highs and lows, these are real time. So you're just basically waiting for that second confirmation. That confirmation is going to indicate all right, this thing's probably going to keep pushing. These numbers come up 10 candles after. So if it's what I'd be looking for right here is I'm looking for this low, right? We have a low. If this number prints down there, which will happen in about 5 or 10 candles or so, if the numbers print and we get a buy signal, then I'm expecting this to just skyrocket up, which I was already expecting because I'm looking for these people to get stopped out. So there goes a buy signal right here. Unfortunately, this is too close to news. This is a daily entry right here if this closes. If anyone's looking to take a gamble, but this would be the daily entry right there. It's literally 3 minutes from news though, so it's super, 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 super risky. I don't know if anyone wants to take it. Maybe take it with smaller lot sizes if you guys really, really want to take it. Maybe even use a trailing stop. So there we go. Price is pushing up. There's my target that I mentioned earlier. Target push is going to be right there. That high. See how far it pushes up. So there he goes. Price pushes up higher. So I kind of lied. I take it myself. I use a trailing stop. I use a 150 pip trailing stop. I'm in profit about 1,000 already. Let's see if it pulls me out again. My stop is too close. I know it's going to kick me out. No. Let's see if it keeps pushing up. My stop loss is basically in profit rate $95. So it's basically again at break even. If it pulls back, it's going to kick me out at $90. If it keeps pushing up, I have all the upside. Oh, what the heck? My trailing stop isn't working. All right, so I have all the upside here. I moved my stop and profit. I had to do it manually because I forgot to set my trailing stop. So I'm just letting it go. If it stops me out, fine. If it doesn't, I have all the upsides. So see how this news pushes price one way or the other. Fuck, it stopped me out. Damn. All right. So this is a daily, I got FOMO'd into this trade. I really wanted to take the trade, so I took it. I moved my stop loss in profit. It kicked me out at 395 profit. Yeah, it's okay. We'll follow it and we'll see where it goes. My target here is still going to be this point. So I'm not in this position anymore, guys. As I mentioned, if you guys were to take it, you should at least move your stop loss in profit or use a trailing stop. I do think it's going to push up. I think the news is going to get manipulated and go the opposite way. We are anticipating it to drop because that's how it's forecasted right now. You can see right here, it's forecasted to be negative. Last month, it was at 11.25 million. They're forecasting it to be 10.99 million, meaning that there's going to be less jobs in the market. So that's going to be negative. But since there's a lot of people already selling over here, I'm expecting them to possibly manipulate price to the other way. I did take this quickly. Moved my stop loss in profit again. So I got pulled out in profit. I'm not in this position. So just keep that in mind, guys. As I mentioned, it's a very, very risky trade because just the way the market's moving. So I wouldn't recommend taking it. I myself FOMO'd into it. A lot of times not a lot of times, but lately I've been kind of going against my own analysis, or not analysis, my own warnings. Here goes, price drops a little bit. So again, guys, I'm not in this position where I was and I pulled out in profit already. How far is 300 from here? No, it's not there yet. So not in the position. Hopefully you guys are not in position either. It's just too risky of a move for the news here. I'm going to mark up news price. I feel like whenever we get an entry, there's always like something in the way. It's like news, or it's, I don't know, there's always something that's blocking it and preventing us from taking that trade, which could be a good thing and a bad thing. Like, for example, here, this would be a good thing because we'd avoid being in drawdown right now. So we're just following it, but we're not in this position. News was negative as anticipated. Let me check the news real quick. I was hoping I'd get that push, but unfortunately it pulled me out of profit, which it was actually more negative. So they were forecasting it to be 10.99 million. It was actually 10.70. So with that said, there's less jobs available here in the US this month, providing another catalyst to, I guess, anticipate recession, right? So let's see what profits were posted today. Patricia sent me her profit. She said done for the day. She locked in a total of 5,369. Nice work, Patricia. Valentine over here locked in a total profit of 1,191. Nice work, Valentine. David over here locked in a total profit of 58 for the day. Nice work, David. I know, risky trade though. What trade did he take? He took the breakout actually. So he actually took the breakout, made a quick profit and pulled out. Nice work, David. Smart move there. Yeah, RI said Pelosi entering Taiwan news. Thanks for the heads up, RI. Yeah, I think that's pretty much what screwed it up. Yeah, you can see right here on the news channel. It said according to Chinese media, country's military has deployed a large number of military equipment on the coast of Taiwan. Here's pretty much the heat map. Taiwan's media emphasized there is a bomb threat at Taiwan airport. So there's a lot of stuff going on over there in Taiwan right now. Here is the daily entry. If you guys are still in it, I do recommend moving your stop loss in profit. Don't be a hero today. Be safe, because this is still, this is still a target price. I do think it's going to hit TP, but I would recommend being on the safer side, right? You guys don't have to take my advice, but I do recommend moving your stop loss in profit. You can see if you guys were holding on in a drawdown, it's pushing back up. Target price is going to be this point. Basically, if price pushes and hits this point, it's going to stop everybody out who's chasing the sell. Would you rather be on the market maker side who's stopping everybody out, or would you rather be on the retail side hoping that it'll come back down, right? So It's up to you guys. But for me personally, as I mentioned, I'm already out of this position. I made like 300 bucks, not very much, 40 bucks from the breakout. So I didn't really make anything today compared to, normal profits. I was anticipating to make at least 5,000 a day to cover my loss from Monday. But unfortunately, the market is just not giving us what we need. It's just a super choppy market. Things just aren't pushing directional at all. It's kind of just going back and forth. So hopefully you guys pulled out in profit already. It's pulled back down. I'm going to try to give you guys as much warning as possible, but today's just not the day to get greedy, right? Because you don't really have an idea as to like where price is really going. There's just too much going on. Also, let's see. Peter also mentioned my FX book. It shows that Fed Evans is speaking right now. Let me check my FX book. All right, let's let this refresh right here. Thanks, Peter, for the heads up. I didn't even see that. All right. So yeah, the Fed is actually speaking right now. He started speaking at 7 o'clock. Fed Evans speech. So the Fed is speaking right now. It's going to affect the market. Obviously, they're going to be discussing the JOLTS job openings. I'm assuming that's the only news that came out right now. I'm looking at MT4. MT4 is frozen on my side. I'm not sure if it's frozen on you guys. That's like another red flag. If your MT4 or TradingView freezes, it's usually not good news. It's probably a good time to just sit out of the market, because the last thing you want to do is be in a trade, market freezes, you come back, and you're basically rolling the dice. You're either going to make a lot of profit or you're going to blow your account, because it's going to be impossible for you to pull out. If you guys have been, trading this entire summer, this entire year, actually, it's been happening a lot. Typically, whenever big news happens, MT4 will freeze or TradingView will freeze, and you get caught in a position. I've seen some people blow their accounts, and there's just no recourse for them. So again, right here, it's back in profit, but there's not really much going on. Let me draw the areas of liquidity right here. There's actually liquidity sitting right here, guys. So if price pushes up higher, it's going to trigger liquidity. It's going to push up higher. So here's the next target. All right, it's hitting liquidity, or not yet. So if it breaks through here, I think it's going to push up higher, probably to the TP. But I'm already out of it, fortunately. Yeah, B said, damn, was tempted to enter at that heavy drawdown. Yeah, no, it would have been good if you did, because you would have been in some heavy profit right now. B, if you entered from that bottom, you can profit like 600 pips now. This would have covered my loss and gave me some profit from yesterday, but it's all good. Can't think that way in the woulda, coulda, shoulda spectrum, right? If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Because if you start to think that way, like, oh, if I enter down here, I would have done so well. That's going to make you FOMO into the trade. So like, now that you missed the opportunity down here, B, if you're like, oh, I should enter down here, you're going to want to enter up here, and then now you're at like horrible entry, because you're getting in like at bad entry point or bad entry price. So this liquidity here actually didn't establish. There's no liquidity there. This high here, once price pushed up, it pretty much invalidated it. So in order for it to be liquidity, there needs to be the high lows that are established, right? So that's a thing that you guys have to also understand. Like, for example, right here, these two lows here were established. So this is why liquidity would have been established right here. Because they don't disappear. If they disappear, they're not going to be considered liquidity because they're not there anymore. But you can see right here, this area got triggered, and then you just continued pushing. I think that's going to be one of the key things for us to look at as well. If we have the breakout or any type of entry, we're going to have to mark up, or we should mark up liquidity, so that we can identify where we can catch a big push of volatility. Right now, there's just nothing. It's just choppy market. So I'll mark up the high right here, and then I will also mark up the low right here. So there's not really much going on, as you guys can see from the news over here. I was expecting it to, push up or push down, and there really wasn't much of either. So hopefully you guys are not in this position right now. If you guys did try to take the daily, you guys already pulled out in profit. There was a lot of opportunity here to pull out in profit. You guys could have pulled out in profit when I did earlier over here. You had another opportunity right here. You had another opportunity right here. You had basically 4 opportunities to pull out. 1, 2, 3, 4. When price pushed up here to move your stop loss at least in profit or to pull out. As you can see, there's no clear direction. Price is really just ranging at this moment. I mean, it's really just ranging right here from this high and this low. So price is just going back and forth between this point. You don't want to be trading when price is ranging because this becomes a dangerous area. Price can really spike either or, right? If it spikes down, stop shout, spikes up, hit your TP. You basically have a 50% chance of winning, 50% chance of losing. And you don't want that. You want to have a higher possibility of it winning. So I don't recommend anyone enter down here. I know some of you guys are thinking about entering late, but I think everyone's pretty much pulled out in profit already for the most part. Let me see if there's anything else over here. So this thing spiked down. And this is why you guys want to be careful with these moves here. Now price is reacting to the JOLTS job openings earlier. So with the JOLTS job openings earlier, it happened at about 7 o'clock. There was the temporary manipulation. So let me just show you guys real quick. This here was negative, right? So we already knew price was going to come down. This is why I was really worried about taking it buy. But let me just show you guys right here how price moved. So let's go back to 7 o'clock. I just want to show you guys how price reacted to the news. Okay, so this right here was the news candle, right? 7 o'clock. Price initially pushed down, and then it had a manipulated push to the upside because we already knew price was going to come down. So what happened is price pushed up, and then when it pushed up, what happened? It stopped everybody out that was in this area, right? Because whoever was entering the sell right here, like this is typically what happens. The news happened right here at 7 o'clock. People enter a short position. Right, people enter short, and where's their stop loss? Their stop loss is either at this candle right here because they want to pretty much protect their position, whether price reverses on them. So people place their stop loss right here, or they'll place their stop loss right here or right here. So just using this as an example, this is where liquidity is sitting because people have their stop losses placed, right? If your stop loss is placed right there, price would have reversed, came up, and stopped you out, right? So if your stop loss is right here, you would have gone stopped out right there, etc. Now that price has pretty much stopped people out from this point. So it hit all the areas that I mentioned, right here, and right here. Everyone who entered the sell here got stopped out. From that point, what happens here? Price needs to correct because the news was negative. So with the news negative, price needs to come back down. It can't just keep pushing up, right? If it pushes up, this doesn't go hand in hand with the news event. So now that everyone's been stopped out, what happens at this point? It comes right back down. This is why I don't trade news, because price tends to be manipulated when news comes out. News was negative, so price did the opposite initially, and then it came right back down. Now this move right here back to the downside is aligned with the negative news today because it has to come down eventually. You know, price can't be manipulated forever. It'll be manipulated for maybe a few minutes, you know, a couple hundred pips. Let's see how far did it get pushed up. So price got manipulated to the upside about 700 pips. And then from there, it came right back down. So other than that, let's see. Mace said, feel so proud I didn't rush into any trades today. Choppy, shitty markets. Yeah, no, and I agree with you, Mace. I was on the safer side today. I've been wanting to just let the trades run, but I've been moving my stop loss and profit because of the choppiness in the market. Market opened right here at 630. Obviously, you can see price did drop, but it hasn't been a smooth drop. It's been dropping, comes back up, drops, comes back up, drops. I wouldn't be surprised if it, you know, comes back up again. But other than that, I think that's pretty much all the entries that we had planned for today. The breakout from earlier, we got stopped out in profit again right here for the daily, stopped out in profit. 3-minute came up over here, but we missed it. So for the 3-minute entry, this is the counter trend confluence, and then the 3-minute normal is just I mean, it's pretty much the 3-minute normal. It's I don't know if we have the, here, I'll just put this right here. I'll make another one and I'll just put 3-minute normal. Okay, so as you guys know, we basically are just applying 3 strategies a day. Matches. Okay, so for the 3-minute, and the 1-minute, or we're not going to do it for the 1 minute, but for the 3-minute, this is the original strategy. So for this one right here, this was the original entry. Basically, you're looking for entry after New York Stock Exchange open, confirm the trend, first K2 momentum signal. It's right here, the sell signal. Confirm it matches momentum. In this situation, you would take the sell. For the counter trend confluence, if it's opposite, you would take the buy. So right here, these match. So you take the sell if you took it full TP, vice versa. If it was opposite, you would have taken the buy, and then you would have made profit in the other direction. So these are basically the 3 strategies that we're applying. We're applying the breakout on open, which happened over here at 6:31. We have the 1-minute daily, which is right here. It was a risky entry because there was news at 7, but I entered and I moved my stop loss in profit. There's a lot of opportunity here to enter and get exit. And then the 3-minute over here daily as well. So 3-minute daily, 1-minute breakout, 1-minute daily counter trend. That's pretty much all of that was available today. So other than that, I mean, if you guys have any other questions, feel free to put your questions in the chat. But these are pretty much all the trades that I'm looking to take today on my own account. I will be looking for any other entries here that we can take, but I mean, I'll look for some scalps. If I see any scalps here, I'll mark them up and let you guys know. But for the most part, I'm not looking to take anything here necessarily because I'm sticking to just my 3 strategies a day, just to give you guys the ability to just focus on a couple things, right? Instead of taking like 100 scalps a day, which is possible. If you guys are okay with scalping, then great, you guys can do that. But for the majority of people here, I'm trying to keep it plain and simple. Three strategies to focus on, and that's pretty much it. Because there's a lot of other factors in the market that you have to worry about as well. It's not just the strategy. You also have to worry about news events, things going on behind the scenes, like the Pelosi thing going on in Taiwan. There's just a lot of stuff that will affect your bottom line basically for the week. So unfortunately, this NFP week, or I mean, for one, it's NFP. For 2, there's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes. I was hoping this NFP week would be super volatile and be easy for us to take trades, but it's not playing out that way because there's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes, especially with these world events. But again, right now, price is back in a range. As you guys can see at this point, not too much going on right here. It's just ranging back and forth. Let's take a look at the buys right now. Looking over here at the sentiment, sentiment is currently 59% short, indicating that 59% of retail traders are currently selling. Looking over here at the fundamentals, fundamentals are currently down 309 points. Let's take a look at the heat map. Heat map is currently very bearish for the most part. So there's not going to be alignment with regard to fundamentals and sentiment over here. Sentiment here is indicating take a buy. Fundamentals here is indicating take a sell. So there's no bias. Bias is just neutral because these cancel each other out. Looking over here at the technicals, technicals here indicate a sell as well. So we can indicate that the bias right now is currently somewhat bearish. Overall, price might swing up, price might swing up eventually because the sentiment here is still short. But for right now, currently, it's still bearish at the moment. But I mean, it can shift up. It's just a matter of time. This here doesn't change as often as the fundamentals. This can easily shift from 300 back to like 100 within like a couple minutes, maybe an hour or so. This can easily shift. This here doesn't shift as often. So this is where you can identify what the long-term bias is. So this is why I still think price is going to swing back up. This here can change like within a matter of minutes or hours. This here will stay at this point pretty much for like an entire month. So if this number here increases, then odds for buying is just going to go higher because you want to do the opposite of everyone else. Everyone's selling, you want to do the opposite and buy. But this is going to be considered a long-term move for the most part. And you can see right here, price is starting to push its way back up. Key point to look out for is going to be, so a couple things to look out for. This is going to be target price to see a possible continuation to the upside. If price breaks and closes around opening price up here, then you can expect a reversal, right? That's going to be key price right there. I think if price pushes to this point right here, then you're going to see it continue to push up higher, which, I mean, honestly doesn't really make sense because we are in a recession. Price shouldn't be going up, but just using the structure here, this is going to be your key points to look for. This is going to be the first point here. If it closes above, it's probably going to push up higher. Maybe test the sessions right here, or maybe even test the opening price up there. There he goes. Price pushes up higher. This is why I look at bias first. So it doesn't matter if the fundamentals are all red. Like if this heat map is all red, and this is red, and the trend is red, that's cool. That shows you what the short-term direction is. But if you look at bias here, you already know price is going to come up. It's just going to be a matter of time. So if you were patient and just waited for it to push up, this would have been your heads up right here. Okay, so we got a low right here. I mean, it's too late for me to make an entry, but we have a low right here with the numbers printed. We have a buy signal right here. So 89, 78. Yeah, so this would be a solid speculative push right here. Well, not speculative, but like, I mean, speculative long term, not right now, initial, like specifically, but if price does continue to push up, because I marked up this right here, price didn't actually close above it. If it closes above it, then we can probably see it push up even higher. Let's see how far is this from entry. It's too far still. It's like 300 pips. But yeah, so basically key thing to look out for would be if price closes above here, this line. We have a lot of confirmations here that price is likely to push up because we already have low here established. The other thing that I would like to, or that I would have liked to see here would be a low with a green candle. Let me check the 10. Actually, it's present, it's right there. So we do have a low with a green candle. Let's see if price comes back down and retest this area. So the reversal pattern here kind of played out already. If you go on the 10, we have a low with the green candle. Basically what you're looking for here is you're looking for a buy signal. The buy signal is going to be the catalyst here on the 10 with price pushing up. Buy signal hasn't come up yet, so that'd be the key thing to look for. V said 10-minute V3, V1. Yeah, no, it's a V1 right there. I'm not sure what the V1 TP stop loss would be because I don't apply it on the 10, but yeah, I mean, you can keep pushing up higher. So here goes, price rejects off this news price right here. Let me turn off that alert because I'm not looking for the 1 minute anymore. Turn that off. Delete these here. Your old alerts that we had from previous trades. Oh shit, did I delete it? Oops. I deleted it. Okay, it's all good. Let me turn this one off too. I don't need any alerts right now. So here's some profits from Maddie. Maddie posted some profits right here. He took the breakout as I did earlier. So we pretty much got the same thing for today, Maddie. Here are Maddie's profits. His first one right here, he locked in, he moved his stop loss in profit, locked in 234. And then later again, right here, 354. So solid profits right there, Maddie, for moving your stop loss in profit. Unfortunately, it wasn't like as big as we wanted to, but still some solid profit right there. Same with this one over here. It looks like, yeah, it looks like you might have gotten spiked out on this one with your stop loss and profit for some slippage, but overall, you still made some pretty solid profit. You know, net positive profits each day is key. If you guys can lock in profits each day without losing or without being in the negative, it still adds cushion to your next day. So like for me, I made about the same profit as Maddie over here. Yeah, I made 395. So I made a little more than Maddie off this trade. It just gives you cushion for the next day. Like for today, I'm not really going to count those as anything really, because it's not going to do much for my account, especially because I took that loss on Monday. I'm still in the negative for the week. But I just need one breakout. If I could take one breakout or one of these 1 minute or 1 minute or 3 minute dailies, then that'll cover my loss from Monday. So that's why I'm being a little more cautious right now, because I just want to cover that loss. Once I'm back to break even, then you know I'll be a bit more inclined to take these fuller moves. So let's see where anything else is over here. Let's see, message from Kenny. Kenny said, nobody posting profits in the chats. I mean, people are private messaging me the profits, Kenny. So I mean, if you're looking at my live screen right here, Maddie private messaging me these profits. A lot of people don't like posting profits in the chat sometimes because they don't want people bothering them, right? Like they don't want people to be like, oh, hey, how'd you do this? Can you show me? It just gets annoying for some people if like they post profits in the group and then you got someone like breathing down your neck, like, hey, can you show me how you did this? Can you show me how you did that? That's why some people here just post me, they send me their profits, Kenny. Maddie posted his profits here. Patricia sent me her profits. David sent me his profits. Valentine sent me his profits. Some people just post them privately because they don't want people to be bothering them, especially not during the live session. Sometimes you'll see people post profits in the chat, but after the live is done because they're still trading. So that's the main reason. But you shouldn't be focusing on people's profits anyways, Kenny. You should be focusing on your own account. Because if Maddie's winning, Patricia's winning, Valentine's winning, David's winning. If other people are winning, that doesn't mean anything to you because it's not your account. You can't be like, excited over someone else's profits. You should be excited over your own. So just focus on your own account. That's what I try to remind people. I feel like too many people get caught up on other people's profits. Like they see Kevin here locking in like 20K or 30K a day, and then they try to mimic what he's doing. They end up blowing their account. Just focus on your own account. Don't worry about what other people are doing, and focus on getting better on your own end. Because I get messages from people every day. They're like, hey, can you show me what Kevin's doing? And I'm not Kevin, so I can't show you what he's doing. But just focus on like what you guys are good at. That's the key thing. That's why I'm trying to keep it as simple as possible with the daily breakout and 1 minute. Yeah, Jason said, or they start to text you to trade for them. Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm just looking out for you guys, right? Because I don't want you guys to get unrealistic expectations. Like we had a member in the group last month. well, I mean, he wasn't just last month. He's been an older member. He was like basically crying to me because he said that he failed at trading because people post unrealistic profits. Like because Kevin posts like big profits. So he said because he was posting big profits, it made him feel like he was a failing trader. And then he started taking his own risks, and then he blew his account. And then now he was mad because people are posting profits and he's not able to do the same. Right? It just doesn't make sense. So yeah, just keep that in mind, guys. Focus on your own account, focus on your own trades. But if there's anything that you guys need help with, like say, for example, if you guys are taking trades and you guys don't know what you're doing, or if you guys are confused, the chat's wide open, guys. Nobody's posting any questions in the chat. So if you guys have any questions or you need help with me clarifying anything, any of the strategies we're applying here on the live, I can do that for you. Right? Because I'm here to help you guys out. I'm done with my trading, so that's pretty much why I'm not really looking for anything right now. There's obviously trades here that you guys can take, but I'm going to be sticking to just the, and I'll put it up right here again for you guys. Only trades I'm taking during live session. So one is going to be the US30 1 minute breakout strategy. 2, US30 1 minute daily counter trend strategy. 3, US30 3 minute daily counter trend strategy. So this is literally all I'm applying, guys. I want to show you guys that you guys can take 1, 2, or 3 trades a day, and you guys should be perfectly fine with passing your challenge, getting funded, and staying funded. There's obviously a lot of other opportunities you guys can take scalping here, but I feel like a lot of people get lost in the sauce, right? They see too much stuff going on and they try to copy all the scalps that we're doing. Like, for example, I can just look up right here to show you guys different entries that came up. So like, even though I took these trades here and I pretty much got stopped out in profit, looking at this right here, I'll just scroll back. So there's a V1 right here, right? If you're taking not a V1, sorry, a V3. If you're taking any of these other scalp strategies, there's another V1 entry right here. And this is typically what we were doing before. I was taking a lot of these scalps. The main reason I'm stopping from taking these scalps currently at the moment is because I don't want to see anybody blow their account taking scalps when they're not ready to take scalps, right? Like, for example, there's an entry right here for a not V1, it's a V3. So there's a variation V3 right here, confirm overall bias. Bias is bullish, right? Because sentiment is currently, was like 60% short at the time. So the bias was bullish. We have a low here at the red candle followed by a green candle, pinning momentum for a buy. If you were to take this trade right here, full TP. So there's a lot of other trades that you guys can take. I'm just not taking them on the live because I don't want you guys to be consumed with taking these scalps. Scalping isn't for everybody. I try to introduce scalping to you guys over the past couple of months, but a lot of people just screwed it up. So I'm not trying to go over that as much as often, because if you guys understand it, great, continue to use the scalps. But for majority of you guys who don't get it, I don't want you guys to scalp anymore because it's not beneficial for you. These trades will be beneficial because you're one-to-one. The scalps are negative risk towards, so you have to really know what you're doing to scalp like that. Like looking over here at Kevin's profits, let me show you guys real quick. So like Kevin's profits from like yesterday, right? He's taking a lot of scalps here. You guys can see the timestamps for his trades. He's taking scalps at like 728, 743, 746. These are like the scalps that happen like really quickly. So like exactly what I showed you guys right here. There was one V3 that came up right here. And then there was, let me see if there's another one. There's another V3 that happened right here, right? So you could have taken one trade right here, and then about like 5 minutes later, another V3 right here. V3, V3, V1 right here. There's basically 3 scalps that came up. within a short period, another V1 right here. So within this time period right here, you guys could have taken 3 scalps, but this is a more advanced way of trading. So within, and this is all during the live session. So within a 25-minute period, there are 1, 2, 3, 4 scalps that came up. That was 4 trades that you could have taken if you were okay with scalping within a 25-minute period. But scalping isn't for everybody, right? You guys have to like understand. Like if you're not a scalper, don't scalp. If you're not an intraday trader, don't intraday trade. If you're not a swing trader, don't swing trade. Figure out what works best for you and then focus on mastering that. For this right here, this is for everybody. I feel like this right here can be applied by everybody. If you guys are on the live, I can, you guys just need to follow along. You guys can take the trades as I take them. If I say move stop loss and profit, you should move your stop loss and profit. I'm not telling you guys to do that for no reason. Typically, if I see the market looking risky and I say, okay, you should probably move your stop loss and profit, I'm telling you guys to do that for a reason. So for these, that's why I'm focused on these right here, because I feel like everyone can apply these and not have any issues. For the scalps, everyone has issues with that, and it's not for everybody. Same with the 10-minute intraday, right? So I've been applying this 10-minute intraday. If you guys remember this strategy, I'll show you again real quick. There was an entry right here that I was marking up. So for this 10-minute entry, I was trying to show you guys the strategy, but a lot of people were getting confused with this too, because not everyone likes trading this, because a lot of people are impatient, right? So you identify an intraday entry right here. It's a valid entry because there's a sell momentum, trend meters red. That's first requirement. Second requirement, confirm the previous high lows are either engulfing or variations. So, or you're just looking for basically a continuation. There's a continuation right here. These two don't overlap. You just enter this for 500 pips. Like this strategy works perfectly fine. I tried to show you guys the strategy a couple weeks ago, but again, like a couple people screwed it up. So I'm not really going to be focused on this anymore either. So again, right here, full TP. The problem with this strategy here is that a lot of people don't want to wait for this candle to close. If you guys followed the candles, because I was following this candle too last night, like over here, if you guys can see, you'll see pending signals come up. So let me just move forward a little bit. So you can see right there, this candle right here was pending, but it didn't close, right? What happens with a lot of people is like they're impatient. They don't want to wait for it to close. They want to enter before the candle closes, and they actually enter and there's no entry there. So again, let me just show you the next candle right here. You're going to see the red candle come up, but it disappears, right? That's what happens with a lot of people. They enter right away and they don't wait for it to close. Again, right there, another entry, but it doesn't close. So you're not supposed to enter that trade. Again, right there, another entry, but the candle didn't close. Again, right there, right? There's like a bunch of candles here which are pending, but they don't actually close. And the problem is when people trade intraday, they don't want to wait for the 10-minute candle to close. They want to enter right then and there. And they miss out they miss the entire move because they're not supposed to enter there. See, if you enter down here, you would have gotten stopped out because price would have pushed right back up, stopped you out. But if you waited for the actual candle to close, which happens, see again right there, there's no candle close there. The candle actually closes right here. This is the actual entry. So this is when you're supposed to enter. At that point, that's where you enter the short. Your fixed TP stop loss of 500 pips. And then you pretty much just let it run. That's how you would apply this strategy here. But not everybody's good at intraday trading. If you guys can't be patient and wait for it to close, don't intraday trade. You would just use the other strategies that fit you. I feel like if you're impatient, then scalping would be best for you. Majority of people who trade are impatient, right? Because if you guys are new at trading, you guys don't have the trade psychology to wait. So that's why I'm focused on these, because for the breakout, you don't have to wait very much. It happens within the first few minutes. Daily counter trend, this will happen during the live, and same with the 3-minute as well. So if you guys can focus for about an hour and a half, you guys can take at least these 3 trades and call it a day. If you guys want to trade intraday, strategy works perfectly fine. You can still apply it. If you want to swing trade, you can do this even on the higher time frame. I've seen people apply this like on the 1 hour, right? So if you want to apply the same strategy on like the 1 hour, mean, you guys can do the same thing. It's just going to take a lot longer. That you'd actually have to wait for this to play out. So, all right, let me go to the questions real quick. Jalon said, put the struggling traders back on intraday. No, trust me, John, I try to put everyone back on intraday, but some people still don't want to wait for the candle to close. I thought that would be beneficial for everybody because it's such an easy strategy. But I mean, a lot of people just don't want to wait. And you get it. You know, you've been trading with me for a while, Jalon. You know, when you first started trading, we were like, a lot of people are the same way. You just get anxiety when you're waiting for this candle to close, and you're like, man, it's taking like another 5 minutes. People don't want to sit for those 5 minutes for the candle to close, and they want to enter like a minute early, and the candle ends up not closing with the signal. So trust me, I'm looking for as many ways as possible to make trading as easy as possible for everybody. But you know, it's really going to take discipline. I think this is probably gonna be the easiest way because you guys, I'll be on live with you guys, and you guys can listen to exactly what I'm doing. If I'm taking it, I'll tell you guys, and you guys can take it as well. If I end up moving stop loss and profit, you got to pay attention. Like, let's see if there's anything else over here that I'm missing. I think that's about it right now. Let me scroll up real quick and see. Let's see. Gallo said the guy got mad because he focused on other folks' accounts. Stay in your lane. Oh, yeah, I agree. Gallo. Jason said focus and stay encouraged by others' results. Yeah, so that's one thing that I want to tell you guys too. So looking at everyone's results, these results should encourage you. This is just motivation, right? Like, so for example, here, Kevin posted his profits. He made 20,000 today, right? These profits should motivate you to do better and get better at trading. Once you start to envy these profits, like if you start to hate Kevin because Kevin's doing so well and you're not, that's when it starts to be a bad thing. Like, you guys should never envy someone's profits. If someone's doing good, then great, but you guys shouldn't compare yourself to that person because this person doesn't trade how you do. So like what Jason said, you know, use these profits to motivate you and help you stay focused and encouraged. But if you start to envy the person for doing better than you, or if you start to get mad because they're doing good and you're not, then just don't look at anybody's profits anymore. Just probably, you know, maybe leave the Telegram group or mute it so you don't see profits from everybody. Because when you start doing that, you're going to start revenge trading, and you're going to start taking trades that aren't necessarily there. And that's going to cause you to make a lot of mistakes and possibly blow your account. So, you know, just like what Gallo said, you know, you got to stay in your lane. Patrick over here posted some profit as well. He locked in 6,596. So like, as you guys can see right here, a lot of people here locked in more profit than even I did, because I moved my stop loss and profit. So I got pulled out with like $100 or like $300 profit. You know, I couldn't even make 1,000 mark for today, which is fine. It happens sometimes. You're not always going to have the best trading days, but it's just all about consistency. The main thing with a lot of people too, that I feel like a lot of people get confused with, or not confused with, is that a lot of people focus on the profits. Realistically, you guys should be focusing on not losing. It's all about risk management, right? Trading is about staying in the game. Instead of shooting for the big profits, you guys should be focused on not losing trades, because if you guys can do that, your account will just continue to grow each day, each week, each month. If you guys take losses and make mistakes, then you're going to be in a hole before you actually make any actual profit. So just, you know, keep that in mind, guys. So B over here said, should have held it. I remember B took the buy over here and he actually closed out early. So unfortunately, he locked in partial profit. So if you guys remember the target from earlier, I marked this up right here. I mentioned that if price was to close above this point, it's going to push up higher, right? And that's exactly where price is going. So we already knew price was going to push up right here. Obviously, I didn't take the trade because I told you guys I'm only taking 3 trades a day. But the reason why we knew price was going to push up, and here's the pattern right here, as I mentioned earlier, we have the low with the numbers followed by a buy signal. Let me just draw that up again earlier that I had marked up. So if you guys remember a few minutes ago, I had this marked up right here. What was the number there? 178. Basically a 2-to-1, still running. So I had this marked up a few minutes ago. Still pushing up in profit. This is going to be an iffy area because there's going to be sessions right there. Price can easily bounce off any of these points. But this is pretty much what I have drawn up from earlier. Yeah, Gallo said everyone should set a daily goal. I agree. Yeah, no, if you guys have a daily goal, that should be your goal to meet for the day. And then once you meet that goal, just call it a day from trading. PC is asking, how does the high-low indicator show the value of the high-low? Do I change the settings? That's another indicator, PC. So if you want to add the numbers right there, the values, go to indicators right here, type in pivots H, or it's a built-in indicator. Actually, just go here. So go to community strips, or I don't know where it's at. Where is it? Pivots. Did they change the name for it? I swear I looked it up yesterday and it was there. Pivots high low, or pivots HL. Okay, so PC, just go to your indicators right here, type in pivots H low or HL, and it's going to be pivot points high low. It's the built-in indicator here for TradingView. Basically what it does, it's a laggy indicator. So it provides the high lows, but it provides it like way later. So like this could be used as an extra confluence. So say for example, right here, you have a low already established. Like this will come up like maybe like 10 candles later. So for example, here, this didn't come up right away, but about 10 candles later, like right here, when this was already established, this confirmed the actual move, right? Or the actual low there. You can change the settings, but I think 10-10, like the default settings are going to be the most accurate. If you put it too low, you're going to have too many high lows plotted. But if you have it 10-10, it's going to give you the number, but it's going to be a bit later. So I'll try to put something together where you guys can use this and apply it. But I mean, I could already see patterns here as they here, let me see if I could find one here, because I've been playing around with it. I started to notice a lot of these. Here, so let me go over here real quick. I'm sure there's a number right here. Oh no, it's not. So there's not one there. I'll come up with something a little later. But I was using that as an extra confluence, because the thing is, the problem with that is that it comes up late. But sometimes if you catch it when it comes up late, you can like the trade from right now is a perfect example. So this one right here is currently running. Let me see if that high low came up prior. No, I didn't get plotted. So the way that I would apply this myself is I would wait for the retracement, right? So like, for example, I'm waiting for that to get plotted. Hasn't plotted yet. Okay, so now at this point it plotted, right? At this point, it's kind of too late to make the entry because this got plotted when price was right here. What I would wait for is for price to come back to entry. Like I just have a like a buy limit right here. So when price does come back down, you can enter it and then continue the ride. So price retraces back to entry point right here. At this point, you can have your buy limit get triggered. You can see right there would have filled your order, and then you would have just rode it to the upside. So this is another thing we'll probably cover in the next mentoring session. You know, whenever I see like these little patterns that come up, I try to inform you guys so that you guys can use this as a confluence. It's not a specific strategy, but it's used as a confluence if you're looking for the break and retest type pattern, because price did break above. You have the confirmation here as a low, buy signal, pushes up, comes back to the retest. This can be your entry point right here. There's just a lot of ways to apply this, and there's different ways to use these indicators to improve your win rate, whether it be a K2 strategy or your own strategy in conjunction with, you know, whatever you guys plan on applying. So let me scroll down real quick. Thanks, Maddie. Maddie said, and there's also a K2SR. So if you guys have been sitting in on the sessions like lately, there's a lot of different confluences that we've kind of been adding on to the entries here. So what me and Maddie have been looking at lately is if you turn on the K2SR indicator, you guys know how the K2SR indicator produces zones, right? So you turn that off, and you have the zone right here. You can see how price pretty much identified an entry point if you guys wanted to make a late entry for this trade here. So say, for example, you already identified this and you're not in the trade yet, and you wanted to make a late entry here. You can see how price pushes up and it comes back for the retest. You could have made entries anywhere right here. If you guys are wondering how I drew up the zone, you just turn on your K2SR indicator. It automatically plots support and resistance zones all throughout the chart. If you want to look for that bounce, because like, for example, here you already have a buy entry. So you're looking for that bounce. If you're looking for the bounce, you just see the zone right here. I know it's messy. So in order to clean that up, just pull up your rectangle tool, draw your own zone, turn it off, and then it's pretty much cleaned it up for you. So there's a lot of different tools here that you guys can use depending on what you're trying to apply. If there's something that you guys have issues with, like say if you have an issue with reentry, or if you have an issue with actual entry, or moving your stop loss and profit, or managing your trade, just drop your question in the chat and I can help you guys improve whatever you need help with improving, because these indicators are all used for a specific reason. There's a lot of different areas here where you can make the late entry. The SR retracement right here. Once the confirmation is made, there's a ton of different times and places where you guys can make late entry, re-entry, or exit of the trade. So for example, here, if you're in this position right here and you're wondering where should you move your stop loss and profit, I would move your stop loss and profit to the next low right here, right? This is where I would recommend you move your stop loss and profit. So this way, you've already guaranteed this much profit, which is 820 pips. And then you have all the upside to get the full TP, right? So you guys just got to be smart about your trades. Like for example, this morning, I was kind of telling you guys, okay, maybe if price reaches a certain price point, like halfway, you should probably move your stop loss and profit. However, the market started moving a little bit crazy because news happened. And then from there, I mentioned to move your stop loss and profit a lot earlier. So other than that, let's see. Peter sent me a link for Nancy Pelosi. She's now live. All right, so it's probably a good idea to chill on the market. So let's see, Nancy Pelosi, Taiwan visit live. Pelosi heads to Taiwan. It said China has repeatedly warned against Pelosi going to Taiwan, which claims as its own, and the United States said on Monday it would not be intimidated by Chinese saber rattling over the visit. Yeah, 125K people watching right now, right, Peter? Yeah, I'm curious if something will happen. I doubt it will, but I mean, if something happens, you can say hello to World War III, right? I mean, it's not a laughing matter, but it's like, damn, if something does happen, that'd be pretty crazy. Then I'll for sure be shorting the market, man. And then Nancy Pelosi comes in this bright pink suit. Like, okay, they're gonna notice exactly who you are. Sisu's asking if she is in Malaysia. I think she's in Taiwan now, right? She's just landed in Taiwan. I don't think they're gonna make stops in between. John said China doesn't want to wreck their economy like Russia is doing. Yeah, no, exactly. There's not going to be a war, guys. I mean, there might be a Cold War of some sort, but I don't think they're going to like assassinate Nancy Pelosi. That'd be insane for something like that to happen. And who knows? The world we live in. Tyler said she had to have insider trading meeting in person, right? I agree. May said TP hit. Yeah, so here's the thing that I drew up earlier. If you guys are wondering how I set this up right here, I mean, I literally just thought of this on the fly for this right here. Basically, what I did here was I placed a stop loss at the swing low, basically where those numbers were, and I multiplied it by 2. So right here is basically a 2-to-1 risk. Once we establish this, the low with the number, green buy signal, continued push. I basically it was 890 pips. I multiplied it by 2, 89 times 2 is 1,780 pips. And that's how I got this TP markup right here. The reason why I was able to identify this is because my target, if you guys remember from earlier this morning, I mentioned that the target is going to be opening price right here, London open and New York open. So this is pretty much what I was anticipating. I mean, well, not this whole move, but this target price is going to be the anticipated push. So if you guys have been following the live session all morning, this was already anticipated. The reason why I knew this was going to push up was because retail sentiment was it was short. So this is indicating that 60% of retail traders are currently selling right now. Basically, whoever was selling from this morning just got screwed, right? Because, or not really screwed, I guess it depends on like where people made entry. But if whoever made entry at this point right here and didn't pull out in profit, you know, they basically gave away all this profit right here and price did swing back up. So, yeah, I mean, that's pretty much that. Here's another way of applying this too. I know, let me show you guys real quick. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys how you guys can take entries or how to catch the bounce, basically, right? This is another way of trading here. I mean, I have like a million ways of trading. If you guys like ever want me to go over anything specific, just let me know. But okay, so this was opening candle right here, right at 6:30. Basically, if you guys want to look for the bounce, you guys can just go on the higher time frames, like say that the 1 hour or something like that, right? It's probably too far. 30-minute, 15-minute, 25-minute. So if you guys were to like look at like where the bounce is going to happen or where it might happen, you guys can just turn on the K2SR. I mean, there's a lot of these tools here that you guys, I feel like a lot of people don't utilize these tools. You can use that. You can also use the high lows right here to identify where the bounce is going to happen. Or I mean, it's too close right there. But there's a ton of tools here that you guys can use that will help you identify where like these bounces are going to happen. So like say, for example, right here, we had a bullish bias, right, for the sentiment. And basically you're just looking for where price is going to bounce from. You guys can use the high lows. You guys can use the K2SRs. There's a lot of different things here that you guys can use to identify where price is likely to bounce. I mean, even the pivots over here. There's just like endless possibilities with identifying things. Like if you guys have any problems with identifying certain things, just let me know and I'll show you which indicator to use and how to use it so that you can identify, you know, where this drop is going to happen here. One thing that I mentioned on one of the mentoring sessions as well is when you guys see this big candle right here, this usually, or you know, I went over this in detail with Maddie. One way to identify where, because a lot of people keep asking me, how do I identify supply and demand? I personally don't use supply and demand, but one thing that I started to notice, like with Maddie, because we were trying to line up his supply and demand with like how I would personally look at it. Whenever I see a low or a high with a big wick, like say it's a weird candle, like a big wick, like something like this right here, this is where I would consider it, where I would identify it as basically that supply and demand candle that Maddie identifies. I personally don't trade supply and demand. I don't even know how to identify it because there's so many different ways to identify it. But this is how I would have identified it right there. Right. So as price pushed up past it, this would just be the I mean, I don't know if you would consider this supply or I don't know if it's supply or demand, but whatever this is considered, you can wait for the price to bounce off it. I was showing Maddie that basically if you're looking for V3s, you can basically catch and bounce off here, and then you can just take the trade from that point. So you can see where price bounces directly off that right there. And let me just clean this up here so that you guys can see it better. Because I know a lot of you guys here like trading supply and demand, but you guys have issues with identifying it. So basically, when I would have seen this big candle right here with the low, I would have identified this as, you know, one of those structures. And then right here, I know a lot of you guys like to wait for that break and retest. I'd probably just wait for it to break above. Or, I mean, even this candle right here could have been a break and retest. But if you always want to be safer, you guys could have waited longer for it to break above. And then wait for that retest, which happened right there. And that would have been your entry point. There's just a ton of ways to apply these strategies, guys. I mean, it just depends on what you're looking for, but I can help you guys out if you guys have specific questions. So, all right, guys, it's 8 o'clock right now. If there's any other questions, guys, put them in the chat. Otherwise, I think I'll be wrapping this up for the day. As I mentioned, I'm only taking 3 trades. So I'm just giving you guys basically breakdown and analysis of like the market as we continue on past the breakout and daily entries. But if there's anything that you guys need help with, you know, I'm here to help you guys out. Just put your question in the chat and I can give you guys some direction. Because I know a lot of you guys are lost. You guys are just scared to ask questions. So, you know, don't be afraid, guys. If you guys have any questions, I mean, there's really no dumb questions in trading, right? If you guys are confused, there's only one way to get help if you guys have to ask the question. So, yeah, I mean, other than that, let me see if there's anything else here. Kim's asking, are TV and FTMO frozen for anyone else? It looks fine to me. It might have been frozen earlier, but it looks fine to me, Kim. My trading view here, it looks fine. It's moving on my end. My MC4 is also moving fine, which is linked to my FTMO. It might be a connectivity issue on your end. That happens to me sometimes. If I lose internet connection, it'll just freeze up on me. But overall, it looks fine on my side. So let's see. Maddie said there was a V1 body today off a 1 hour wick zone. I'll take a look at that real quick before we get off. I don't think there's any other questions here, though. Okay, gosh, yeah, Kim said it was your connection. Yeah, no problem, Kim, it happens. Sometimes there's issues with that. Six. Okay, I see this right here. Yeah, so this is what Maddie identified. So as I mentioned before, guys, if you guys are looking for these bounces, I mean, you guys just need to, like, this is what Maddie does. So market opens right here at 6:30, right, or whatever. 6:30. So typically what Maddie does, he'll draw his zones on the higher time frames, and you guys can do this as well. It's just up to your preference. I know this is a lot more work, but the more confidence you have, the better. So since we're looking for a bounce to the upside, Maddie drew his his zone right here. He turned on the, and this is how I identified it. So say market open here at 6:30. Say I don't have any indicators on, right? I just want to show you guys a quick analysis as to how to identify the bounces, right? So this is a clean chart, nothing on the chart, right? This is about 6 o'clock, 6:30 when market opens. If you want to identify where the bounce is going to happen, because we already have the bias here. If the bias is 60% short, we're identifying a bounce to the upside, right? Because we're looking for a buy long term. Turn on the K2SR, and then just draw your zones right here. Draw where the bounce is, where the bounce may happen. Just go here to this zone, draw your own rectangle right there. And if you want to go even further, you could draw a rectangle down here. Once you have that, turn that off. You go down to the 1 minute because that's where we're trading. And you're basically just looking for the bounce, right? And then you turn on the rest of your indicators here so that you can kind of pinpoint where the entry should be taken. So price pushes above here, and typically what we're looking for is we're looking for like a reversal pattern off the zone. Because if you can find a reversal pattern off the zone, it's going to bounce to the upside, right? So price broke below. The zone right here was created. and we're looking for a buy at some point here. So now that we're looking for the buy here, you're basically looking for a reversal pattern. You're looking for a variation or anything pretty much indicating to take a buy here, or even just a break and retest. So just looking at this here, so here's the cutoff right here where we can pretty much identify any possible entries, right? Because price is broken and closed above it. There's a couple different times where you could have entered here. Like when you see all of these rejections off this point, you can see that it's starting to establish it as a strong support, right? So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tests right there. No candle has broken back below it. At this point, you're probably okay. This has been tested 6 times and it's failed to break back below it. So what's probably going to happen here? It's probably going to push up. And the reason why we'd use this in conjunction with our analysis is because the sentiment here is 60% short. You're doing the opposite in buying. So you could take a speculative trade here. You could have taken something like, as price pushed down here, you could have taken a buy, and then your stop loss could have been somewhere right here below the low because you're not expecting it to drop below there. So say you have a 50 pip stop loss and you want to go for like a 3-to-1. I see a lot of people do this 3-to-1, 2-to-1, or 1-to-3 or 1-to-2. This is basically a 1-to-3 trade. You have that established there. You have a bullish momentum. You have another confluence here. You have a low with the number right there, right? The number's plotted. You have a bunch of confluences here. You're like, okay, this is a reversal pattern. This is another reversal pattern. This established it as a low. You could have taken the trade and then just let it run. And it looks like it's still currently running right now. There's just a lot of different opportunities here, guys, that you guys can use to take trades here. And if you guys want to move your stop loss and profit, like I was mentioning before, when these new lows get established, you just move your stop loss and profit for it to guarantee your win or hold it for the full push. But yeah, so let me just show you guys the course here, guys, again, real quick. And I want to break it down because there's no like holy grail here. There's no like one strategy that that's going to work every single time. There's going to be losses here and there. But the thing is, the whole purpose of the K2 course is that it's just foundation for you guys. Let me just pull it up real quick for you guys who are new here, or if you guys are, old members. I just want to show you guys that there are multiple strategies here that you guys can learn. Okay, so here is the course over here. If you guys have access to the course, this is what the course looks like. The course will explain pretty much all of the indicators, the basics, how each strategy works. These strategies are not an end all be all, right? You can apply every strategy or you can apply just one strategy. What I recommend is to apply all strategies, figure out what works best for you, and then master it. Once you have one strategy set up, you can go through the course and then you can basically use multiple strategies as confluences. So for example, here, let me just show you this entry here, because this is an actual entry for the 1 minute. So this is what we would consider an intraday entry, right? So if you're already good with the intraday, this is like probably the easiest strategy for you to learn. You use this as basically your baseline. You have an intraday entry here, valid momentum signal, trend meter matches. That's your baseline. That's one confluence right there. If you want to add another confluence, you'll pretty much just add another strategy to it. Like if you have two strategies that align, you'll go to the pivot scalp, right? Don't worry about the TP stop loss. You're just going to use this as confluence. You have one strategy over here for the intraday. This is also an entry for the pivot scalp, right? We have an overall bias, which is bullish. We have a valid momentum signal, and it's above the pivots. With that said, you have two strong confluences right there, two strategies that literally align off that same exact candle. If you want another confluence, you want to look over at the low over here. Look at the most recent low, right? You want to add the confluence list. Is there a high-low continuation? Yes, right? Because these two highs, these two lows over here don't overlap. So you have three confluences right there. Third confluence, you can look at the high-low reversal candle. Right here, you want to make sure the low is a green candle. That line's right there on the 10-minute. You can see the low here, it's a green candle. With that said, you have another confluence. So you have one confluence, two confluence, and this is going to be more advanced, but like this is how your foundation starts. you focus on one strategy and then you could add on another strategy to it to increase your win rate. You have about 3 confluences right here. The trend is bullish. There's another confluence, overall bias. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 additional strategy confluence. There's no additional strategy confluence right here, or you can say it's engulfing because this candle here is bigger than the other. You basically have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 confluences. If you wanted to enter this trade right here, you can enter it for a long position. Your stop loss could have been right there for 320 pips. It's for a 1-to-1. You let the trade run, full TP, right? So that's how you guys can get better at applying these strategies and feeling confident about your entries, because you just add as many confluences as possible. And the course over here provides like so many different strategies that you guys can learn. So what I recommend is, if you guys are new here or if you guys have been around for a while, go through a refresher through the course, apply all the strategies, see what fits your trading style the best, because there's multiple strategies here to apply and they all work perfectly fine. Find one that works. And then if you want to go over it with me, we'll go over the mentoring session and I can go over it in detail. Like I can tell you, if you want to apply the entry, this is what you should use. This is what you should look out for. If you use all those there, that'll be a game changer for you guys. So yeah, I think that's about it. We're past the 8 o'clock threshold. Just a heads up, guys, I'm going to be traveling to Hawaii on Thursday. So I'm not sure if we'll be having the live session. What I might do is, because my flight is at 7 o'clock, I might be at the airport and I'll just take the breakout with you guys. But after that, I'm gonna have to get off the live. So I'm going to be on for maybe 30 minutes max or less for the breakout. And then I'm just going to have to wrap it up because I need to catch my flight to Hawaii. So I'm going to be in Hawaii for about a week. I'll be trading with you guys there. Unfortunately, it's a 3-hour difference. So I got to be up at 3 a.m. to trade with you guys, which is fine. It doesn't matter if I'm on vacation or not. I still want to trade. This is basically my main source of income, just trading. So I have to trade it. Well, I don't have to trade, but I'm going to trade anyways. So I got to get up at 3 o'clock to trade with you guys on Friday. I'm going to be there till Wednesday. So I got to get up at 3 on Monday to Friday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday to trade with you guys live. So no worries, guys. I'll be here live I'll be live with you guys, even though I'm going to be on vacation. But Thursday might be a bit of an iffy day. I'll let you guys know that morning or Wednesday night if I'm going to be live, but I'm going to try to get on just to at least take a breakout with you guys. Because yeah, John said trading is the ultimate work anywhere job. Yeah, I agree, John, 100%. Like for me, I can just pick up my laptop, go on vacation, and I can still trade with you guys from wherever I am in the world. So hopefully I got some nice views, just like Maddie said. But other than that, guys, we're going to wrap this up. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to email me or message me on Telegram. Otherwise, we'll be back here tomorrow, same place, same time, for the same 3 strategies: the breakout, daily 1 minute, and daily 3 minute. But other than that, guys, I would just sit out the rest of the day. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. Otherwise,